Yes, people, I'm Medicated Mate, and we're back again with another video. As you can see by the title, this one is specifically about how getting prescribed medical cannabis has changed my day-to-day life. Now, I am in the UK. Medical cannabis has been legal since 2018. I'm sure you all know. And if you don't know, get to know, because it's crazy. We're like 7 years on, nearly 8 years on from legalization of medical cannabis in this country, and yet so little people actually know about it. Yeah, it's mind-blowing, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's get straight into it. Like, what has changed in my life day to day since I got this prescription? As you may or may not know, I've been using black market cannabis since before I got my prescription anyway. But then eventually when I got my prescription, it has made a massive change in my life. Like, I mean, a huge change, to be honest with you. One of the first main things to touch on is driving. Like, right now, I'm in the car. I haven't actually just used any medical cannabis today at all. That's something else I'll touch on in a moment. But the fact that it's in my system and I used it yesterday, that even that would be a massive concern once they brought out the swab tests in the UK. I don't know if you know, but in the UK, you used to be able to have cannabis in your system and there was no way of them kind of proving that on the roadside. And then they brought out these like swab tests. You probably know about it if you're watching this video, let's face it, and you're probably getting pranged about it every time you're getting out in the car. Or maybe you don't care, but I was the one who was getting pranged about it. Everywhere I'm going since they brought them tests in, especially at nighttime driving, I'd be looking in the rear view and I'm thinking, is that fair? Is that, please, come on. I don't want to be getting pulled and losing my license because I won't be able to go to my job. And I'm sure you know the headache. It is a mad stress. And as soon as I got my prescription, done. That has changed my life massively. Just that fact alone. I can now have THC in my system. They could test me on a roadside swab and I'm going to test positive, and that doesn't mean I'm losing my license. That just means I just have to provide my prescription, provide some ID and show the flower I've got matching the prescription. Boom, job's a good one. That's been a huge game changer. I can't even lie. I'm sure you can sense the relief in me. It's just changed the game up massively for me. It's allowed me to feel like I'm not some sort of like little druggie, which is a mad term to even say when we're talking about weed here. But that's what some people will make you feel like. Even police, some of them will make you feel like that, or they have been known to. You know what I mean? And I know that we all know people around you, I'm sure, who will make you feel like that, even though that is not the case. And that moves on to the next one. It's the fact of people around me. Okay, they could have an opinion, and I can't change someone's opinion. You know what they say about opinions. But the thing is, their opinion doesn't mean shit to me now. And maybe that's just a mental thing since I've got the prescription. I don't care anymore. It probably is that. But having that prescription and knowing that I've got that legal layer of safety of that nobody can say shit, nobody can do anything, nobody can try and stop me or, you know, cause any issues or anything like that related to it. It's a simple fact of you can literally just, nobody can say anything. You can let them know or you can not let them know. It's completely up to you. I'm more of an advocate for letting people know because I think people need to know about this shit. But at the same time, not everyone wants to do that, and I understand that. But yeah, that's a massive one for me, is that people's opinions don't matter now because this is legally prescribed medication. I'm not just buying some flower off of some geezer down the street and then, you know, blazing it up in the back garden, worrying that the neighbours could say something. Or it's not like that no more. It's completely legal, and yeah, it's a massive game changer. Next one for me that has changed it massively, I'd say, is the fact that you can, how can I put it? I can pick what I'm getting. Like, you can pick what you're getting. This is why it's hard to explain. Like, if you've seen my terpenes video that was up the other day, that kind of explains it a little bit better in a bit more detail. But essentially, when you're picking up weed from a local dealer, they might have, you know, your plug could have a menu of 30 flavors. Your plug could also have a menu of whatever you get given. That happens, you know what I mean? But the thing is, those 30 flavors, you don't have any terpene breakdown. You don't even know if they are those flavors, because did he get them from the person who was growing them? Did they just tell them that they did, that they grew it? Do you know what I mean? There's so much to be questioned, and you don't know if those are the genetics you're actually getting, and therefore the terp breakdowns, and it's not tested. They'll say, you know, it's this THC. if people even bother. Some people do, but 9 times out of 10, I'm sure we all know people like this. Most people are just buying packs and just filling packs, and then whatever the percentage says on the pack is what the PUD is now, and that's just not how it works. And when you're trying to treat a specific condition, not just smoking recreationally, that makes a world of difference. To be honest, even if you're smoking recreationally, it makes a world of difference, because you're going to get completely different effects depending on what it is that you've gone for. So now I'm on medical side, I can actually pick the strain, I can look at the terpene breakdown, I can know that it's got a lab test for the THC percentage, so there's not a lie. But most importantly, it's the terp breakdown. I can figure out, is that strain actually going to help me before I even go and spend my money on it. And it takes a bit of testing, trying out and figuring stuff out, unless you already know which terpenes help you the most, because everyone's different. Everyone's endocannabinoid system is completely different. But it's just fascinating to me that this plant has been vilified, yet it literally just slots perfectly into a system that every single one of us has, and it can affect how we feel, how we act, like so many things, like how our hunger levels are. Yeah, it's crazy. I've even heard of, someone told me years ago, there was a certain, I don't know if it was a compound that was formed from, I can't exactly remember it, but I think there was like a terpene or a certain breakdown of terpenes that actually helps suppress appetite, which everyone thinks that when you smoke weed you're going to get the munchies, which, okay, you might on certain strains and certain terpenes, but there's also ones out there, there's land races out there that have been found and proven to do the exact opposite to that, to suppress appetite. And you think, wow, that's going to solve a lot of people's problems. Yeah, it's mad when you think about it. But back to the topic of the video. Obviously, it's me. I'm just digressing onto mad points, but by now you guys already know. I mean, I've already had on the last video, I don't even know how many comments now, but you are absolute legends. I appreciate all of yous. The people coming back, like, I'm uploading a video and within 20 minutes I've got some of you guys putting comments on there, liking it. The views are flying up before it's even processed properly. I'm like, it is mind-blowing to me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm proper took back by it. But it just motivates me to want to continue to do this more, because there's so many people that I don't know how to put it, maybe they're not feeling heard, or they feel like it's something to be ashamed of, or they feel like they should hide the fact that they use medical cannabis, or even that they use cannabis and they think that going down the medical route is going to be much harder than it is. And that's what I'm just trying to do, is just share my story, show my side of things, and kind of, yeah, just let you know I'm a normal geezer. I'm out. I've just finished work now. It's Friday night. I just wanted to stop and just make this video just to say how it's affected my life, because why not? You know what I mean? I'm seeing you guys commenting saying, please continue doing the videos. I don't care how you do them, what format they're in. Just appreciate the content and that you're speaking about this stuff. And so that's just what I'm going to continue to do. If you've got topics that you want me to speak and touch on, let me know in the comments. As always, I know you guys will anyway. But yeah, another one that's massively helped me is the whole work side of things. I'm not in a safety critical role now, so it doesn't matter. I have been in the past. But even still, there are workplaces that will penalise you or treat you a certain way because you have certain drugs in your system. Yet, if you've got a prescription for it, it's completely fine. And so, somebody could have opiates in their system, but they're prescribed cocodamol or codeine or something like that. So there is zero difference when you actually break it down, if you think about it. And I know, and for some people, someone has to say it like this. That's like what they did to me. That's what someone said to me. For you to realise, oh shit, yeah. So why could, if you prescribe THC, you're not going to get in trouble having THC in your system, whether that's a job, whether that's driving, whether that's with, if you've got a landlord or something like that you're worried about. There's so many scenarios where the law now covers you. And okay, that doesn't mean there's not horror stories out there. You can go on Reddit and, I mean, I rate Reddit. I do rate Reddit, but I also don't rate Reddit. You know what I mean? It's just full of opinions. We already spoke about opinions, I'm pretty certain, at the beginning. They're like arseholes. Everyone has got one. So they're not the prettiest thing to always look at, though. Do you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, Reddit is just, you can take stuff with a pinch of salt, what people say on Reddit, because it's not always the truth. And you think about, like, have you ever posted to Reddit? How much have you posted to Reddit? Or is it mostly people who are just looking to moan and complain who are posting on there? Or I don't know, that's just the way I look at it. Like, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of people posting good stuff on there, but it just gets I think it overall gets affected by the amount of people posting negative stuff on there, or moaning and complaining, and you get a lot of entitled people on Reddit, I feel like. Maybe this is just me thinking this. I mean, let me know what you think, but I personally think that is the situation with Reddit, and that whether it's Medical Cannabis Reddit, whether it's PlayStation Reddit, or I don't even have a PS, I play Xbox if I do, but I don't know why I come up with that then, to be honest. But there you go. Whatever section of Reddit, whatever subreddit you're on, I just feel like negativity attracts people, you know what I mean? And it's what tends to get the most views and comments and upvotes and all this type of stuff. But in actual fact, like, you have people over there, loads of them saying that all medical cannabis is dead, it's got no terps, it's all muted, it's this, that. And you know what? It's a complete lie. Like, you couldn't be further from the truth. Okay, yes, there is medical cannabis that's dead and that's terpless and that's muted and da-da-da-da. But you're telling me there's no weed out there on the streets that's not like that? Like, you're lying if you think that, or you've only ever seen the top shelf. But I doubt that. If you've been through a fair bit of weed in your years, then you'll know straight away that's how it works. It's not always top shelf flower. When you're dealing with something illegal and you're buying it through someone who's breaking the law as well, which is mad to think. We're talking about a fucking plant here, do you know what I mean? It's mental. But there you go. Yeah, when you're dealing with that side of things, there's only so much you can do, and there's only so much backing you've got. And I know, you know, a lot of people, if they get flour from a dealer and it's not right, it's got mold on it, or there's an issue, like, either A, they don't have the balls to go and speak to the person. You know, they're kind of worried that it's going to cause some conflict because that person's a criminal. For me, that's not been ever the case. Normally, it's a fact that where I've gone to get the flour is a mission, and for me to now take back a few nugs that have got bits of mold in is going to cost me more in fuel and my time than it is to just fuck the nugs off and, you know, just suck it up. Now, in medical side of things, touch wood, I haven't had this issue yet so far, but I know from Reddit, of all places, but I know from Reddit that there's people who have had this issue. They found mold in their bud, or, you know, it's been, God forbid, it's been underweighed or something like that. I've not had either of these issues, always been fine. But if it has been, they report it, and the pharmacy will either give them the money back or give them more flour for free. Which, if you're dealing with speaking to a pharmacy, surely you're not going to have any concern or worry over, you know, getting in trouble, or there's no that side of things that I said that, you know, some people will deal with. And on the sane side, you don't have to drive anywhere, you don't have to go anywhere or do anything, or you literally just write the message, send it off, wait for the response, and then deal with it that way. Like I said, I've not even had this issue though, so I haven't had this problem myself. Don't get me wrong, if the flour comes and it's a bit, you know, you're not that keen on it, there's not much you can do. That's not, you know, that's not how it works, but there's not much you can do anyway normally when that's the case, unless, you know, you really get on with your plug and he doesn't mind kind of swapping it back, sort of thing. I have known people that have been like that over the years, but it's few and far between, you know what I mean? That's just not realistic. You're going to use the flour anyway, aren't you? But yeah, for me, that's a big one, is that, you know, all the above, to be honest, all these things that I've said, they've changed massively parts of my life, and together they've overall, like, added together to this kind of reduced stress level in my life, which is mad. It's mad to even say, but yeah, that's what it's done. And then on top of that, my consumption of bud has dropped hard. Like, at one point I was going through like more than a zip a week, right? And I know that that's, to some people that's not a lot, and to other people they're like, wow, how can you go through that much? So you've got to remember, this is all relative. Like, some people genuinely, I have known people who were going through a zip a day. So to be going through a zip a week or just over sometimes, for me, felt normal. But then Now I've reduced it because I can pick what I'm getting. Like, I realised I was just blazing through stuff because I was trying to chase an effect that I was never going to hit, because of terpene breakdowns and, you know, the stuff we touched on earlier. So now I can find the flower that works for me and buy that on repeat. And if I can't get that exact strain because it's not come off again yet or whatever reason, it's not on, you know, in stock on the pharmacy or whatever, you can still look at the terpene breakdown in that flower, look at the other flower available and see one that's got that similar terpene breakdown and know that you're pretty much going to be getting the same effect from that flower. Yeah, this has basically allowed me to reduce, not purposely, but I've just started noticing, like, these packs are lasting me a lot longer. I'm talking like a 10G pack, if it's really dialed in and it's something that does what I need it to do, it can last me for like a week and a half, which is mad. Like, that's like 10 Gs instead of 28 Gs or 30, you know what I mean? If you were talking just rounding up the 3 10G packs, it's 30 Gs a Z. If you're going through a zip a week and all of a sudden now you're going through like a Q a week, it's like a 75% reduction. That's mad. And I was using dry herb vapes before I jumped on medical, and it did help to reduce further. I probably went down to about half a week or something like that through the vapes, but now I've gone on a medical, like I said, I've reduced it even more. It's not always the case, as I say, it depends on if I'm getting the right strain. I do find if I get something that's not quite right, then I end up using more. The 10G pack can go in, you know, a week or less, but it completely depends on the strain and the terp breakdown, you know what I mean? It's those things that make the difference. But yeah, this is the type of thing, it's just made a huge difference to my life. Like, it's lifted that stress of things. Family members or friends or anyone like that having anything to say about it now, it's like, well, what can you say? It's fully legal. Like, if you wanna say something, then let's go and have a go at, you know, people who are drinking or people who are doing all these other, you know, smashing caffeine or whatever else it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not knocking those things. I've been there myself and done them, so I understand. I mean, you know, there's other substances as well that, you know, not something I'm interested in, but there is people who will smash all sorts of things every day. I'm not out here to try and vilify people, but there are people out there to do that, and especially if that's like friends or family, and you're doing it over a plant that you're consuming. It doesn't even make sense to me, but at least now you've got something to back you up and be like, well, what can you say? Do you know what I mean? This is fully legit. This is fully legal. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not harming anybody. This actually helps me to enjoy my day-to-day life better. For me, it's helped me to be, because I've got less stress around all of these things, even around like trying to pick up, like it can be a fucking stress, man. Especially if the normal plug that you use is like away on holiday or something like that. And it just becomes, for me, it used to become a stress sometimes, and I didn't enjoy it like at all. Now I actually enjoy it. I just jump on my app, I'll have a look through for what's available, what's in my price range, then I'll have a look on medbud.wiki, see the terp breakdown, see what will suit me, and then go from there. You know what I mean? I order it, boom, if it's at my house. It's made a world of difference to my life. It really has. It's just made the day-to-day less stress. Like, that's probably the takeaway, the key takeaway I'd say. If you use cannabis currently and from the black market, you know the stresses and the sticking points and the annoying parts of doing that. Like, you know it because you're doing it, you're living it probably every day. But on top of that, there's all the other things that I spoke about in this video. It's like, it all adds together to completely bring down the stress levels and improve your experience with this plant. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is to get some sort of effect or experience from that plant, which is going to help us through our lives in each day. Now, that could be many reasons, you know, everyone's different, but you shouldn't be made to feel like a criminal or a junkie or whatever else people want to make you feel like. And now you can't, or at least if you go down the medical route. All right, people can still have their opinions, but trust me when I'm saying it just lifts that stress side of things, and it just makes it feel like, just less of an ordeal, less of a crime, because it's not a crime now. You know what I mean? It's not, unless you're sitting rolling up a joint and, you know, bunning a joint. I understand that's a crime. Like, you're not meant to smoke this medication. I do get it. But there's people that are doing it. You know what I mean? There's people that are doing it. what you do in your own home is on your own choice, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the way I see it is, if you're getting the effects, then it's all good. I mean, I think dry herb vaping in general, it does improve the experience massively. You get the flavors are insane, the levels, and you can also decide, if you're in the daytime, you can vape at lower temperatures so that you don't use or you don't burn certain terpenes which are more sedative. So even if you've got a strain that's got quite a lot of sedative terps in it, then you don't actually have to not burn, that's the wrong word, but you don't have to like heat those terps up and, you know, consume them. Essentially, you can just consume the other side of the terps by using lower temperatures in the day. And in the evening, I tend to, you know, I start straight on a heavier setting anyway on my vape, just because you're going to get those more sedative terps. And even still, the flavor's insane in comparison to like smoking a joint or something like that. It's not even comparable. Like, it really isn't. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I think that I've hit all the bits that I would say it's changed my day-to-day life. I hope I have. I'm sure I'll remember something, and we can always drop it in another video. But like I've said to you, this is the way I want to do the videos now. It's just me chatting to you, chilling and having a conversation. I don't want it to be super formal and I've got all these written down points to go through and I've got to edit and da-da-da. I just want to hit record, talk to you guys just like we're chilling with the boys, and yeah, that's it. So I hope you've learned something, or if not learned something, maybe you've just gotten a different perspective on stuff. I think that's the whole idea, like I said, of this channel in the first place. As I've said before, I massively appreciate all you guys. We have hit 1.6k now. Like, I don't even know what to say about that, man. 1.6k subs hit, and I don't think we're 3 months in yet, or about 3 months in, something like that. It's mad. It's mad. I appreciate every single one of you. Like, I really mean that. Like, from the guys who are writing comments on every video to the people who are just silently watching and sharing, because, like, you know, you can see on your YouTube analytics people are sharing a video on WhatsApp or this or that. I appreciate all of yous, like I proper do. I really appreciate it, because at the end of the day, without yous, this wouldn't be possible. This is, you know, the motivation that I get from seeing your guys' comments, and the response that you just give me. It just makes me want to continue doing this and shows me why I should be helping. Like, there's a guy, oh mate, he's a legend. He comments, I think his name's Patriot, I can't remember the number now, Patriot something. He comments on nearly every one of my videos. You're a fucking legend, bro. I just want to say that to you right now. But like, yeah, he's from America, and he's like, uses cannabis medicinally as well. It's not just UK people getting involved in this conversation, because this is a worldwide topic. Like, over the next, let's say, 10 to 20 years, I think there's going to be a massive change in the way that the world sees cannabis. It's happening currently, like, we all know this. You know, you've got Thailand, Germany, like all these countries that are changing their laws, their legislations, how they go about it. And we just silently changing the law in 2018 and just moving on like it didn't happen. I don't think that's how it's going to last forever. Like, it's so important that people like what I'm doing here, and it's not just me, like, obviously not. Like, I've been inspired by other people, like I spoke about, like Smokey McGreen, and there's Ezra the Plug. He commented on one of my other videos, and all these people that are doing, there's more as well. I'm so sorry if I've not said your names. It's just people are just popping up in my head, but there's all these people talking about these topics. It is so important that we have all of us doing this, because this is the only way that more people are going to find out. You've got to remember, like, the people that are looking for these videos are not always just going to be people who are trying to get on medical cannabis. It's going to be their friends, their family. It's going to be clinicians. There's going to be pharmacists. There's going to be doctors. There's so many people who are going to be looking at this type of stuff, and it's so important that we're sharing it and getting it out there, whether it's anecdotally about our experiences, whether it's factually about certain things and laws and legislations and how to do things, instructions on how to, you know, do stuff, like on the video on my channel, how to get your prescription. Whatever it is, there's so many topics that need talking about around this. And yeah, I know, as I said to you guys before, I've been overthinking it massively, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, what's the point? Why am I overthinking it? Let's just crack on. Let's just stick the camera up and just talk to the boys, you know what I'm saying? And the girls, you know what I mean? I know there's some women out there that have been commenting as well. So yeah, when I say that, I don't mean it in a that way, but it's just, I just want it to feel like I'm just chilling, vibing, talking. That's it. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be over scripted, just because that's not me, and I want to continue to pump that content out. Sorry, I got that's not me, JME, just as soon as I said that. But yeah, anyway, this is it, guys. That's pretty much everything I got to speak about now, so I'm going to end it here. But I do massively appreciate it, like I said. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and stuff, and you know what to do. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and yeah, I've been Medicated Mate. Take it easy, lads. See you in a bit.